All right, so we haven't done this in a while. What do we do if the alarm goes off? Oh, good. It was interesting. I'm starting to get through the literally thousands of comments that came from the independent satisfaction survey, because you were given the opportunity to give like a lot of feedback on different topics, and they need a little louder in the back. One of the things that surprised me was, and which is a good thing, several people said they wanted to do more drills. So ask and you shall receive. If the alarm goes off, but no, all joking aside, there's a couple things. I'm going to start. We don't have all of our people. Everybody got too tuckered out apparently from the event this morning. But were any of you planning on talking about the call bell? I'll talk about it. All right. So one of the things that, so we have all the things that we're doing, and then we have all the things that we're doing behind the scenes. And one of the things that we've been doing behind the scenes for a while now, well, there's two things. One is about connected living and replacing connected living with a better electronic communication system. And I'm sure Jason will say he needs people to help with that on Monday between 9 and 11. We've also been looking at a replacement for the call bell system. And the reason for that is because our call bell system, which is your PERS alarms and your pull tabs and all that stuff, although it works, the technology is like literally 20 years old or more. So we installed it and opened, more than 16 years ago, because we opened the doors 16 years ago. So some of those devices, and we don't have operation issues with them. We're able to know when you have a low battery or those kinds of things. But the technology has advanced significantly, as you can imagine, over 2 decades. And it's time for us to really be looking at evaluating a new call bell system. So we are working on that. We've had a couple of meetings. Cameron and Jason have really taken the lead on it. And we've got a couple of nice options. Obviously, call bell is really important. We've had some kind of scary incidents over the last few months where people have not worn them and they have needed help. We actually had another incident this week where a resident seems to have fallen at 8 p.m. the night before and was not found until this morning. Not this morning, yesterday morning. And that was because Liz was concerned about her because she'd been having some health issues. Liz went up, 10 or 11 in the morning and ultimately found her. This is not the first time you've heard this from us in the last couple months. You've heard it from us a few times. So what we want to do is make sure that technology is as advanced as possible. Some of the new options include things like fall detection. So waterproof devices, different types of ability to wear them. But even more importantly, how it actually works on the health center units. So I'm not sure if you are all aware, but the system that you wear in independent living is also integrated in the health center, and that's our nurse call. So what we really want to look for there is a system that it'll be one system house-wide, but we want a system that can really help us track and trend staff behavior. How quick are they getting to call bells? What are the patterns with things? Ideally, we'd love to end up with a system where we can triage calls. So that's one thing that our current system cannot do. So if you're in skilled nursing right now and you press your call bell, the aide does not know if you need a tissue or you're hanging off your bed. And that creates an issue for people because we can't also call you. It's basically just we're responding to an alarm. And obviously, if 2 aides are helping somebody to ambulate or transfer, and they get another call bell in another room, it would be great to know right in that moment, this person needs a tissue versus this person needs whatever. So a lot of these systems have the ability to help us triage things. Several of them have opportunities for us to have communication with you in the room. Very, very costly, but very, very important. So this is something we're going to be investing in. We're working on that. The other thing that is progressing along and should be done hopefully sooner than later, and this is what kind of ties into the drills, we are advancing the installation of the blue light system. Okay, so this is where you're going to be in a situation where every hallway is going to be equipped with blue light bulbs. And you're going to go out into your hallway. And if you see a blue light bulb in the spots where you would see it, and we're going to point these out, we're going to do education on it. That's going to indicate to you silently that there is a lockdown situation. These are used widely on college campuses. If you go on college campuses, you'll see like blue freestanding lit emergency beacons. It's this blue light is this sort of omnipresent idea of danger or emergency response. So there's going to be more to come on this. And as I said, several of you have asked for more drilling, so we will do some drilling on lockdowns, fire drills, those kinds of things. We are continuing to work through those comments. I did announce on Tuesday that our results compared to our last survey are even better than they were the last time around, which was 2022. So we know how we ranked in terms of your overall satisfaction, and also how we compare to all CCRCs that are done by this company. So we're going to issue that information and that data to you. I'm hoping to get it out tomorrow or Friday. Look for it in Constant Contact, and then we'll have paper copies available at Concierge. Okay. Thank you to everyone that came to the groundbreaking this morning. It was a fantastic event. I really felt the Woodland Pond love there at that event. So we're happy to have seen everybody that was able to make that. And obviously construction is progressing. I'm sure Dave will chat about that. I don't have anything else today to cover. Does anybody have any questions for me on anything at the moment? Deborah?
I've been getting a lot of inquiries in the hallways. The resident council passed a resolution to experiment with turning off the street lights, and people are wondering when that's going to happen.
Does anybody that's here know the answer to that, where this all sits? I thought we tabled it. I thought the residents council tabled it. We tabled it. Okay. So we tabled it because there were some folks that cited safety concerns. Because the thought process was to shut them off for a couple of hours or so in the middle of the night and just kind of see what happens. Coincidentally, it happened anyway 2 weeks ago. So how'd you all feel about it? Not good. So there's a lot of not goods. So I think we will revisit it again, but we did get a lot of people concerned that the lights were out. That was not planned. We actually had a problem with one of the pieces of the photo cells, is my understanding, or one of the controllers went. But suffice it to say, we got a lot of people concerned contacting us and saying that the lights were out. So Deborah, we will revisit that, but the feedback to date based on that accidental tripping of that was not great from a safety perspective. So I will revisit that with Tom and Cameron. Other questions for me, comments for me at the moment? All right, so I'm going to go to Rob.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Dunn, Director of Environmental Services. I just want to touch on one thing today for me. Obviously, we know the holidays are coming, and that does affect the housekeepers' schedules. Thanksgiving is usually like there's no scheduled IL housekeeping cleanings on those days. And we can either make that up or go the 2 weeks, depending on what you prefer. So if you know housekeeping is going to fall on Thanksgiving, Christmas is 4 weeks after that, which is also a Thursday. We run into the same issue, and then New Year's. So the holidays are going to be here fast and quickly. So I just wanted to let you know, we'll reach out to you. But just, know that on Thanksgiving and Christmas, those days we will not have IL. But if you want to make it up or whatever, reach out to Carrie and, we'll chat. And those days around the holidays, the staff take off. Okay. Any questions on the holiday schedules or whatnot?
Friday after, does that also apply to the Friday after the holiday?
It depends on, what staff put in. Some do, some don't. I think in IL, we have half the staff here. So I don't want to say it's going to affect you and not affect somebody else. Carrie usually reaches out to those people on that particular day. And then we'll say, hey, your housekeeper's not here today or whatever. And then we'll reschedule that with you. Okay. Any other questions for me? No? Okay. I'll move along. Shannon?
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Scatoro, the Director of Marketing. Just want to give you guys a bit of an update. We are still full as we've been for years now. We have 17 settlements, closings on apartments year to date, and we are going to end the year with 24 or possibly more at this point. So we're in fantastic shape. We're doing great still. 38 new residents have moved in this year, and we have another 12 in the works. So we will certainly have still have a full house and still growing. Thank you again to everyone that has been letting us bring tours into your apartments to see your homes and take a look. If anyone is ever interested in doing so, we can always add more to our list. Just reach out to myself, Courtney, or Natalie, and we'll get you on the list. It's very simple, takes usually 5 to 10 minutes. We're with them. You can be home or not, and it's definitely greatly appreciated. I just wanted to remind everyone too that we're going to start collecting items to do our big free store at the end of the year. You can start going through your homes now to gather any unwanted items that you think could be repurposed, and be on the lookout. We should have a date for that in a couple of weeks. Bring everything to concierge, or we'll help you if it's something bigger that you need help with. Any questions for me?
With all the construction going on, how are you marketing around it? And do you think it'll affect anybody, pro or con?
So, I mean, obviously, whenever someone pulls up, you can clearly see the fencing and the construction and everything going on around here. We have been talking to prospective residents about this all year in preparation for it. They're actually very excited. They can't wait to see the new improvements here. And a lot of people looking now are planning for a year or two down the road, which is great because then they'll get to move in and enjoy all this, wonderful stuff that's going on here. But I mean, we talk about it all the time, so it's not something we can obviously hide or attempt to hide. Yeah. What's that? Any more questions for me? All right. Thank you. Dave?
Of course, from my perspective, that's why you would want to move here, to get to enjoy the construction and process. So this next week, what do we got? Most of what we're doing, you will have seen the changes that have happened over the last 10 days or week. A lot of grading outside, removal of the landscape in preparation for the additions. So what you'll see over the next week or so is some excavation for foundations and setting up formwork and so on for the foundations. The work outside the wellness will be the first round that will happen. And then outside of admin, they're doing some exploration to figure out what everything looks like under the ground. We have drawings from back when everything was built, but of course you can't always rely on those being absolutely accurate. And so, they'll do that. And then the first round there is, of course, the blanking on that. No, you always blank on the from the kitchen. The grease trap, thank you. I'm jet lagged. You got to go easy on me today. No hard questions. So the grease trap would be one of the first things that they'll do. And the plan there is actually to put in the new grease trap and then switch them over overnight so that it doesn't disrupt the kitchen at all. That's the best scenario. That's what we're working with. Because things don't always go to plan, but there's always a plan B as well. So that's most of what's happening. We won't be breaking into the building until after Thanksgiving, December 1st. Will be when you'll first see some activity actually in the building, where temporary walls will start going up and the temporary exit by the existing fitness will be installed. That's all I have for the moment. I don't have much voice, but I'll take as many questions as you can throw at me.
Do you have any renderings of what these changes will end up looking like? And if you do, could you show them to us in a display?
Not yet, but I am expecting, and I spoke to Bruce, he was from MDP, who was here this morning for the groundbreaking, and he said we're about a week away from receiving those. So once we have them, of course, we'll distribute them. You'll see them digitally, as well as, we'll put them up around the community building so that you can get a good look at them.
Can you give us an estimation of when this space, the current pack, closes and the new pack 2 in the basement will become available? It's a busy space we have here.
It is. And so this space will be able to be used through the holiday season. And so that was one thing that we determined, with Wolfson, that we needed to hold on to this. So January 16th is our goal date to hand this over to Wolfson to start the renovations in this space and the adjacent spaces. And the new space downstairs will be ready well in advance of that. I haven't really had a chance to talk to Tom today because we've been running around, but I know the one thing there was for him to put in new HVAC or new split unit to supplement the heating down there.
That space will have all the facilities we have currently in this space. The TV screen, the acoustics, et cetera, or better.
I see Jason's nodding his head, and so I think he's got the answer to that.
So Cameron and I actually talked about that yesterday. We're going to talk to one of the local AV companies to see if we can move the projector and screen down to that flex space. They're also working on that bathroom down there. The bathroom will be done. And yeah, I mean, the room is pretty much finished. If anyone wants to go down and take a look, it's just they're working on the HVAC still and this camera. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, we run all that. We did this. We can manage that.
Hi there, Dave. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. I'm talking about the gym downstairs. It seems to have a really nice spongy surface, different to what was up here. Am I correct? Is something?
Well, we just put carpet down there. I think it's got underlay as well, and the surface within this space, the new renovated. Well, it's no longer will be the pack. It'll be the exercise room. That will have a sports floor, which is it's a resilient floor, but it does have more of a cushion to it, which will be really good. And same with the fitness center, that'll have more of a cushion as well. Yep.
So in other words, that's going to occur in the renovated.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Yep. Very good. Thank you so much.
Have you booked the opening act for the new pack?
We're taking suggestions. How's that?
I want to add on, I failed to mention, I think if you've watched my address yesterday, on Monday, the 24th, at 5 p.m. in this room, we are going to be hosting our wetlands biologist, Michael Fishman, and he's going to be reporting on all of his environmental findings in conjunction with our civil engineers, who will also be here to talk about their also studies that they've done on the wetlands for the expansion property. That is open to residents. Initially, we were going to cap that at 50. So we we're going to do 50 resident seats in here while also live streaming it and recording it for our YouTube channel, because we wanted to leave 50 seats for the public available, because it really is an opportunity for us to take questions from the community at large. Right now, we only have 5 people signed up from New Paltz. So it doesn't look like we're going to be as restricted on seating for residents, but I strongly encourage you to either watch it that night or then watch it. We can live stream, or we can restream it, or we can, obviously we'll post it to you and send it to you in Constant Contact, and we'll have it on our YouTube channel. But this is of great interest to a lot of people. There is wetlands all throughout New Paltz. Our building plans and expansion design has to take that into account, just as it did on this property. So they are going to be here to talk about that, and it's not going to be us standing up here talking about it. It's going to be the scientists. They've been working on this for a couple of years now. So if that's of interest to you, I know 5 o'clock conflicts with dinner, but if we're trying to get the public in, that's a good time for the public to come. They don't like meetings at 10 o'clock in the afternoon, in the day. It doesn't really work. So.
And just to be clear, it's not a discussion about the future development, our future plans. It's really a discussion about the ecological and environmental findings on the new site. And to talk about that, because of course we have a lot of residents interested in that, but we also have a lot of members of the community who are interested, but also have some, thoughts about what, like they think things are there that don't exist, for example.
Like
and so we,
bears,
yeah.
That's a rumor.
So we want to be very clear about, we have Michael Fishman, who is tremendously respected in the region, and he'll be talking about his findings. I mean, he went to the Woodland Pond and counted, egg sacs and everything else that you do. And so I think it's going to be a great presentation to listen to. And I really think this was, I don't know who came up with it. I think it must have been me, because it was such a great idea.
It was me. I thought it was my idea.
But this is what
Can I just
community.
keep aside for a second, like, just kidding. No,
It was me. So
it was you.
this is great. To me, this is what community outreach looks like. It's really like saying, hey, we've done the work and this is what exists, and let's have a conversation about it before we even start talking to people about what our future proposed development is on that land.
I actually have 2 questions. One is, when will the library actually be unavailable to us? With the construction of the new PAC.
Yeah, so it's in March for about 6
Okay.
months.
Okay.
And what we're doing is identifying a space where not the entire content of the library, but a good portion of it will be able to be moved to, so that we will still have an active library through that time, which I think is really, really important. And yep. And yes.
Good.
And all the related facilities. Yep.
And then my second question is, it was my understanding that there's going to be a pickleball court with the new apartments, possibly an outdoor pickleball court. Yes.
The question is that there's the proposed outdoor pickleball court as part of the new satellite expansion, and that is correct.
There has been some coverage in the news that there are so many pickleball courts in some places that the noise is driving the residents who don't play pickleball crazy, and they're now trying to find a solution to that problem.
Yeah, I hear you, and I'm not sure if it was you or someone else that sent me a specific article from the New York Times, and this is something we've been cognizant of really early on, not just for the outdoor, but for the indoor pickleball as well. Indoor, in a way, is almost easier to address, because we can do sound absorption at the starting point, at the source. Outdoors, that's why we've removed it away from the apartments. So it is, it's not adjacent to those apartments down there, and there are substantial trees in between as a buffer. But we've also seen that there's research into quieter balls and bats,
Mhm.
which I think is really important. Yeah, yeah.
For that exact reason, is the surfaces of the pickleball courts and the balls and rackets themselves are evolving. So I think by the time we're getting there and getting ready to install this in 2 or 3 years,
I think we'll be in really good
we
shape.
would be ahead of the curve
Yeah.
on that. But sound attenuation there is very important. And obviously plans can change. You know, if for some reason all of a sudden pickleball becomes verboten, we'll obviously take that into account. But we want to do it in as respectful a way as possible.
You were talking about the dinner time presentation. Will that be recorded so we can watch it on YouTube?
Yes, it will. It'll be available on YouTube. Yes.
How has the local public in New Paltz been notified about that talk on the 24th?
So a couple of ways. We posted it. We've now posted it twice, verbatim with the letter that we sent to the planning board officials and the officials in New Paltz on the New Paltz moderated Facebook page. And as well, my understanding is that Michael Baden, who is the director of planning for the village, was announcing it and encouraging people on last night's planning board meeting, which is publicly available. We also posted it as an event on Woodland Pond's calendar. So we're trying to get the word out. So the village officials helped, you know, the Facebook page, that Facebook page gets a lot of activity. That Facebook page, Shannon said, has over 20,000 people on it. So I posted it yesterday. I had posted it last week, and I'll post it again over the weekend. And Betsy said she's seen it. So other questions on expansion related items or renovation?
Yeah, there's been a lot of work and a lot of words going on about our beauty parlor as to where they were being moved. I just wanted to see if that was true. Going to the 4th floor. Oh, temporarily.
So as you all know, we are doing everything we can to keep your amenities available throughout the course of this, even if it means that they have to be moved. So Sharon, originally, we were thinking that we were not going to be able to keep her services going during renovation, but we are going to be able to. We're going to be moving her to the guest suite temporarily because she needed a location with water and utilities. So that works out great. So she will be in the guest suite while her the new salon is constructed out of the art studio. So her services will continue. I think that's right after January 1st.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we really wanted to have continuous service there, and also we'll provide really good signage to direct people there as well. So it's easy to get to. We'll do a continuous line or something, or
she was agreeable, very agreeable and happy as far as I understand it. Okay.
All right, if that's all. Thanks very much, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bridget Blum, Director of Human Resources. And since our last meeting, I just wanted to thank you all who participated in the blood drive. We were very successful. I know that I stood here before you just a couple of days before the drive, concerned that we were not going to hit our target for the number of units that they were hoping we would collect, and we surpassed. So thank you again to all of you. And you know, we have community members at large who do come and attend the blood drives as well, and many staff members. So that was excellent. We started distribution this morning of the Rove gift check. So employees have been coming through the office all morning to pick up their checks. They are more than thrilled. We are going to ask for some feedback. I know that there's a note in the envelope from the committee asking if staff members would mind doing an anonymous note back, letting them know how they choose to spend their money. And we are going to encourage that employees do provide that feedback because I know that it's very helpful to the committee to see. But again, just real joy in the staff members when they come to pick that up. And the word just spreads like wildfire. I didn't even get my messaging out this morning. A staff member happened to come in the office to drop something off. And I said, you know what, while he's here, let me just, hand this. Well, of course, he left the office and on his way down the hall past, 5 other employees, and at least 5 or 6 people came through for their gift before I could even get the email alert out. And as soon as that happened, then there was a line out the door. So you have to understand how much it's appreciated by those hourly employees. And the holiday season is upon us, and I know that we are going to be having, I believe it's December 18th, the employee luncheon here in the PAC. We do the daytime event, we do an evening event, and I know that we count on the residents to help serve that meal each year. That's something that's sort of become a tradition where the residents they really approached us years back and said, we want to be the ones to serve. So I haven't talked to Lindsay about it yet, but I know that she's here and we're going to, I'm sure, get notifications out to have folks volunteer to serve at the luncheon. I believe it's December 18th, and I think that that's a Thursday, Betsy. So it's going to be, right here in the still existing PAC. That's all that I have news-wise. Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so Michelle's asking that I mention about the turkeys. We raffle off 50 14 to 18 pound turkeys, or 16 to 18 pounds, 16 to 20 pound turkeys to our staff members. What we do is it's lottery based. So we ask if anyone would like to be included in the raffle for the turkeys to please send their name. This year we had 56 people enter and we raffle off 50 turkeys. So that happened. And the staff are picking them up this week. They were delivered Monday. And so the staff are picking them up this week through the week. We just ask that they obviously get them before Thanksgiving week because it gets very hectic in the kitchen that week. But again, just another offering that we have for the staff members, and they look forward to that each year. They really want to be part of that raffle. So, yeah. So Halima, and then we'll come up front.
Can you indicate how many Rove checks were cut and what the average amount of the checks were?
I absolutely can. I have those figures. I just don't have them right with me right now. Let me do that. Let me go to my office and get the paper, and we'll have someone else talk, and then I will give you that update because I think it's very important to know. Please,
And
Bill.
a really similar question. What was the hourly rate, or how much per hour?
Let me go get the details. Hold, please. Cameron? Jason? Jason. Here you go.
All right, I'm Jason Irish, Director of Resident Life. I have a few things to talk about. I'm going to piggyback off of what Michelle said about our nurse call system. So Michelle said that there's no issues with our nurse call now with our SARA system, but there is one issue that we are having that I don't know if we've publicized. So our mass notification system is also through SARA. It's through Status Solutions. Our mass notification has been down for 2 weeks. So, knock on wood, we haven't had to send out any alerts. If we do, our plan right now, and I haven't discussed this with Michelle, but our plan right now, obviously we're still going to post on Connected Living. So if there's alarms going off and our mass notification system is still down, which it is today, we're going to post still on Connected Living. So you'll see the alert on 1340. You'll see the alert on, if you use the website, if you use the tablet, the screens in the hallways. We'll also send out an email blast, but the emails, if Lindsay's not here and we can't send through Constant Contact, there's a delay in email. So if you hear alarms, first thing right now, check Connected Living until we get rid of Connected Living, which is also soon.
1340.
And 1340, yeah, still, don't go to concierge, don't call concierge. While we're on...
Wait, but can you just explain that that's not our problem?
So the problem is actually globally. It's not just Woodland Pond. It's an issue with Status Solutions software, with their specific website. It does not affect our nurse call platform because that's a server that's on site. Their mass notification is through a website that is down, and they can't figure out. Yeah, I don't know. They can't figure it out. They send us updates, but the updates say it's still broke. While we're still on nurse call, so Michelle had mentioned it. We talk about wearing PERS, but also most of you know this, but this actually happened. Michelle didn't give specifics. The resident that fell this week fell in her bathroom. There's pole stations in every bathroom. She did not use the pole station in the bathroom. She did not have her purse. She crawled out. This was actually a separate incident, I think. She did. She had to crawl to a phone. And I think this might be a different situation. It is. So still, we're talking about the same thing, issues with using your pendants or pole stations. I want everyone leaving here today or watching from home to check your pole station in the bathroom, know where it is, and assess whether or not the cord is long enough if you can reach it if you're on the floor. We can put in a work order and we can extend that cord. You have to be able to reach it if you're on the floor. Again, I'm not trying to be hazard preventing or think about this, but we do have to think about these things. So just assess where the pole station is in your bathroom and just see if it's long enough to the floor and you could reach it. Moving on. I want to talk about valet. So we've just implemented this valet system, which is still in the works. We are open for business. We are parking about 3 to 5 cars a day. We know it's going to get busier during the wintertime. We are currently staffing up a little bit with some per diem staff that can assist with this. Obviously, we're going to have to assess to see how many cars it's going to increase during the winter. I imagine, more with residents that want to go out. Give us as much notice as possible. So I see Joan Kleinegers over there. She needs her car tomorrow at 10 a.m. She told us today, don't wait 10 minutes before you have to go out to ask for the car, especially during the winter, because it could be frozen, it could be dead, it could be covered in snow, whatever. So just give us some notice so we can at least figure out when we can get it up. Questions on that? Questions on anything? No, moving on.
What are we doing with the keys?
The key, so we just purchased some valet tags and a new lockbox that are at or behind concierge just outside my office. So we are storing all the keys that we valet separately, just in case anyone was wondering. I am going to talk about fitness. I know we talked about it briefly. There's been some concerns over fitness recently. Obviously, we now have moved it to the basement, so there's not a lot of visibility like there was here, even though this was at the end of the hallway. Fitness has a camera in it. I know there's been some concerns over asking people to work out with a buddy. We are recommending that you work out with a buddy. We're not instituting it, but we're recommending that you at least go down with someone. If you can't find anyone, we're also saying every time you go down, check in with the concierge desk. They can pull up the camera and just monitor it while you're down there if there's any issues. We're not trying to oversee everything everyone's doing, but we want to know that everybody's safe. There's also a pull station down there as well, and your PERS pendant will work in the basement. We've tested it. It works in the new flex space as well, which is right next door. But yes, please use a buddy system when you can, and then let concierge know when you're going down. Okay, I'm still going. So now I'm going to transition here to transportation. We have a daily schedule for transportation. Most of you know this. We transport 7 days a week. Monday, Thursday, Friday are to Highland and Poughkeepsie. Tuesdays is Kingston. Wednesdays is New Paltz shopping and New Paltz medical appointments. Saturday shopping, Sunday church. We need to know as soon as possible when you have an appointment. It seems that, we're getting off of that and people are telling us last minute about appointments. We need as much notice as possible. When you come back from a doctor's appointment, let us know. We'll put it on the schedule. If it's off schedule, we do our best to accommodate, as most of you know, but we can't accommodate everything. If every single person in here had an off-schedule appointment, there's no way we could do it. So we need as much notice as possible about medical appointments. If you need the schedule, you can get one from the concierge desk just to know where we go on certain days. This came up recently as well. This is now I'm transitioning to another topic. If you go to the hospital at night, We have a taxi fund at the reception desk in the health center. That desk is staffed 24 hours a day. If you don't have money to pay for a cab coming home, we have money here. We could pay for it. We'll charge you back. I think there's $150 in that account. So unless we've got, 2 people going out the same day or 3 people, we've got enough to cover your taxi. So just know if you can't get a ride back from the hospital, you can always get a taxi either through the hospital or you can call us if we're still open at concierge. I mean, security can help too. So we're always still open. Forget I said that. And that's another thing. So security staff is here 24 hours a day and that desk is staffed 24 hours a day. So if you need a taxi, we can pay for it if you don't have money to pay for a taxi coming back from a hospital. And again, I know I just mentioned it. Security is here 24 hours a day, or security is here 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. We are staffed 24 hours a day. You can always call the concierge number and someone is always going to answer that phone. I talked about the poll stations, the newsletter and calendar this month, because next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Friday's, kind of a holiday too. Not everyone will be here on Friday. The newsletter and the calendar will go out next Wednesday. So just keep an eye out for that. I'm piggybacking also off of what Michelle talked about before. Next Tuesday, the 25th, I'm talking about a lot of things. Go back to YouTube and watch this later. Next Tuesday, the 25th, from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m., we've got this company called Go Icon. Go Icon is a new connected living platform or resident engagement platform. One thing that they also offer, which kind of ties into what I said before, they're a communication platform. So they also do mass notification, and that's one of their primary things that they do. So the idea with this company is also to go with their mass notification platform, where we'll be able to just send, I know Deborah's asked for this before, I see her in the back, only text. If you only want a text message, we can send just a text message. We don't have to send the email, the phone call to your cell phone. And this platform is, we haven't used it obviously, but it seems to be much better than what we're using with Connected Living. So not Connected Living, Sarah system. So not only are we demoing the engagement platform on Tuesday, we'll also talk about the mass notification, but we are looking for more resident engagement. I think I see Tom. I asked him to mention it at Residents Council tomorrow to see if we can get some council members at that demo on Tuesday, and they're coming on site. So the person that Cameron and I have been dealing with, she's coming here. She lives local to give us a full demo of their platform, and we love the platform so far. So we're looking forward to it. Tuesday the 25th from 9 to 11 in the classroom. Okay, I'm saving that one for last. All right, these are some upcoming events. Tomorrow, oh yeah, this is a good one. Tomorrow, everyone knows we've had Council Connections. Council Connections is now transitioning to a new, it's going to be similar. It's going to have a new name, working title. Right now it's called Community Connections. Again, working title, we're working on it. Tomorrow, Joe Cosentino is going to have a panel discussion with Liz Elliott here from Independent Living, Deborah Vining, who's our Director of Nursing, and Ryan Squires, who's the unit manager on assisted living and memory care. I think this is going to be a great opportunity to learn about what we're doing, obviously here in Independent, which most of you know, with Liz, but with Deborah Vining and Ryan Squires. I think this is going to be a good one. So this is a good jump start to Community Connections. Again, working title. Talk to Joe. We're thinking, my idea was pond people. I liked it. They don't.
What time is that tomorrow, Jason?
That is tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Yes, 2 p.m. Here in the PAC. You can attend here. We're going to stream it. We're going to post it on YouTube. Attend if you'd like. It's going to be a good one. The Jazz Pioneers are performing in the Health Center Great Room on Monday, December 1st at 6:30 p.m. We would love everyone from this room to go over. I know the room is a little quirky, but we're gonna get people in there. December 1st, 6:30, Jazz Pioneers, Health Center Great Room. This is a big one. So Molly Mason and Jay Unger, who we've had here in the past, they will be here on December 4th at 4 p.m. here in the PAC. We are going to ask for a sign up for that. We really only can accommodate 100 people in this room. That one is usually a big one. So make sure you sign up with the concierge desk. Leave here. You're going to go to the desk. You're going to ask to sign up. Of course, there's not a sign up there right now, but there'll be one there later today. So sign up later today with Lisa. That's Jay Unger, Molly Mason, the 4th of December at 4 p.m. here. On the 3rd of December, bouncing all over the place. 3rd of December at 2:30 in the lobby, we'll have our tree lighting. And then That same week, busy week, on Friday and Saturday, we've got our annual Arts and Crafts Fair, which will be here in the PAC. We're looking forward to having a good turnout. Parking, I know, Katie, I saw her walk in. We're going to have people here that day to help park cars. We know it's going to be a busy day. So please, turn up for that one as well. The last thing I'm going to talk about, because I've been going for a while here, is the murder mystery recap. I am very happy with the outcome from the murder mystery this past weekend. I thought it was a great event. We had about 60 residents attend. It was a company that was local in the Hudson Valley. For those of you who attended, most people I've asked, they've said they've enjoyed it. The dinner was a great option, different than the normal dinner. We're looking to do more similar events like that, maybe quarterly for a year. That company loved coming here. They loved the engagement from the residents. We had residents with lines in the show. A few of them are here in the room. It was a great show. And I hope next time we have it, more people turn up for that. It's a good opportunity just to do something different. Any questions on anything I said? Does anyone remember anything I said?
If you put it close to your mouth.
I actually have a question about you. I have a question about YouTube. We're new. I have no idea what to do. We have the fancy Spectrum box, so I understand we don't get the channel. So how do I stream stuff?
So I'll create so two things with that. For those of you who do not know this, Spectrum offers two options. Spectrum, you can get a regular cable box, which you still get channel 1340, or you get a Xumo box, which is a streaming box, which you do not get 1340. The idea with this new platform with Go Icon, so all that is through Connected Living. I know I'm not answering your question. I'll get back to that. With Go Icon, this new platform that we are considering, they have different streaming options where hopefully we'll be able to get to everyone in the building, not just Xumo users. But for YouTube specifically, you could just Google, not so much on your television, but you could use a computer just to Google Woodland Pond or YouTube and search Woodland Pond. But we could talk offline and I could show you how to do it.
TV can hear it. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is you go to YouTube and then just Google Woodland Pond, you can subscribe. It's for free. But then anytime a new video gets posted, it sends you an alert. So then that way you don't always have to go check and see if we post a new video. Almost everything we do in this room, with the exception of the fitness classes, almost everything is recorded and is aired on our YouTube channel the next day. Lindsay is also very diligent about sending the links out when new videos go on in constant contact to your email, so you can stay attuned to things that way as well. So that's our group email. We'll check to make sure you're on the list.
Constant Contact is just an email blast. So it would just come through as an email.
In your email account, regular email account.
Yesterday.
Jason, my question has to do with the Saturday New Paul's shopping. Out of the last 3 Saturdays, once there was no driver, once we had to come back early because there was a function in Poughkeepsie, or twice we had to come back early. And I'm wondering, are you going to offer a full Saturday, was to 1 o'clock, I think, usually, because it seems that it's getting short shrift?
So it doesn't happen all the time. I know we left early because we had a trip that one Saturday. Last Saturday, our driver was here in the morning, got sick, went home, and then we had another driver come in and do the trip that night. This Saturday, we're going to have the full day of shopping. We try to get that out ahead of time. The plan is to get a full day of shopping from 8 to 1 every Saturday, yes. Ms. Evans.
On Thanksgiving Day, is there valet parking for our visitors that can't find a spot?
So right now we've got Phil from Dining, who's in New Orleans this week. He sent us he actually sent Cameron the times, the dining times. And we've got staff, right now there's 2, both, I'll give you their names. Davi is going to work on Thanksgiving Day and Stephanie is going to work on Thanksgiving Day. And we're working on another driver. I don't know how much we'll need, but we're going to at least have 2 people help valet cars that day on Thanksgiving.
Along that same line, if we're having a function here for friends of ours, can we ask you to have valet parking for that?
yeah, I mean, valet parking is here. If you know it's happening and it's happening at a later time, definitely let me know. We've got maintenance staff that work from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So as long as we know ahead of time.
Just so that everybody knows, there are like 8 visitor spots, very good close to the building. So, and most of the time, I mean, I walk out there multiple times a day. There are always spots available. So just making sure that your guests know to come into lot 1 and head as close as they can to the building. We made those the closest spots. So there's 6 or 8 there too. But yes, if there is a parking issue, lot 1, if you haven't gone and looked at it, lot 1 has spots every day. So staff are not to be parking there. Lot 1 is the lot in front of the library. It has handicap spots. It's got open resident spots, and it's got all of the visitor spots. So there should be always parking there. One thing I'll mention is Cameron and Jason have submitted a request to have automatic door openers installed on the end of North and South. This is something that we've been putting off for a while because it's extremely expensive, but it's one of the accommodations we're making as part of the construction and part of making parking easier. So if you are having a need for an automatic door opener at the first floor of South and first floor of North, you use a walker, you walk a dog, you use power mobility, those are going to be on automatic buttons within the next, 6 weeks maybe?
I emailed him today. So what's going to happen, how he described it to me, is you'll use your access badge. It won't be a button like it is at concierge. You swipe your access badge, you wait a second, and the door opens. So they're still going to be locked doors. This is going to be on the bottom of North and South as you walk in, not the door to the stairwell, but the main door with the access control. Swipe your badge, wait a second, door opens. Then the door closes.
Okay, hang on. I'll get Jean Hyatt and then I'll come over to Bill.
What about 3rd floor right there off the parking lot and construction zone? No automatic?
Well, that wouldn't make sense because there's a staircase there. So how would they even get up the stairs to?
No, you're coming from the parking lot.
Oh, you're talking about by the library.
Yes.
We could talk about that. Yeah.
What else do you have on your list? Oh, Bill.
And Rolf.
Two questions or 2 comments. The first comment is that the end door in the north wing doesn't always latch. And that may be solved by your automatic door. But about half the time when I come in, the door doesn't latch behind me.
I'll open a ticket with maintenance on that.
I mentioned it about 6 months ago and nothing's happened. The other question, is there a uniform message that we should give to anybody that's going to visit this site about where they should try to put their car? So they pull up to the concierge? What are they supposed to do? Because the parking lots are supposed to be residents only.
So, yeah, well, we've been working on that this week with staff. We've posted signs. Lot 1 is dedicated strictly for residents and visitors, right? And visitors. We're suggesting all visitors should try to park in parking lot 1. If they cannot find a spot in parking lot 1 and can't find a spot somewhere adjacent to parking lot 1, to pull up front of concierge, walk inside and let the concierge desk know that they need help parking their car.
Okay, so they shouldn't come automatically to the concierge. They should actually try to find a parking place.
Please.
Okay. Thank you.
Rolf and then Ronnie Sue.
I'm feeling very Vanna today.
Thanks. The question is, when there is a program on 12:15, such as Michelle and so forth, how long does it actually take to, once you stop, how long does it actually take to get onto YouTube itself, where it's available to us? I searched for about half an hour and the other day, and they couldn't get it.
Every day is different. So for Michelle's address, so Dave, who does the setups, will do Michelle's stream on Tuesdays at 12:15. As soon as it's over, it finishes around 12:30 to 12:45, depending on how much she talks. And then we have to download it. So it'll download to that computer. Then he has to upload it to YouTube, depending on how long it is. If it's 10 minutes long, it'll upload within a couple minutes. If it's longer, Dave has to sometimes run and do something else, and then he'll have to go back and post it later. It really depends on how long her talk goes. But usually with Michelle's addresses and Dave's addresses, it generally takes less than 30 minutes to upload a video to YouTube.
But is it available immediately via YouTube at that point once you upload it, or does YouTube have to?
No. We don't have to get screened by YouTube for any of our content. Sometimes the music concerts or the music have to go through YouTube to make sure there's no copyright infringement, things like that. But for our talks, no. It as soon as we upload, it's available.
Okay, thank you.
Going back to Thanksgiving. We're going away if it doesn't snow. Visitor can park in our driveway, but I won't know until the day before. I'm happy to offer our driveway on Thanksgiving Day for visitors. Who do I let know?
Let me know. Yeah. Send me an email.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind,
We probably won't use
most
it.
of our staff are not, the salaried staff are not here. So I'm anticipating we'll have an additional at least 30 spots just from staff not being here. And we're going to have 2 to 3 drivers to valet. So I appreciate the offer, but I think we're going to be okay.
I'm just curious about this new streaming system that you were talking about. And all streaming works on Wi-Fi. How does it connect? It doesn't, this works on how?
So what streaming are you talking about? So right now,
You're
technically,
talking about TV streaming, aren't
No,
you?
no, right-
Not streaming to a TV set or what other device you may.
so no, our streaming right now, we're streaming from this room through that camera right there and the computer in that case down to a computer in our server room, which connects directly to a modulator, which is hardwired, not through Wi-Fi. And then that modulator connects directly to Spectrum equipment.
Oh. Oh, okay.
What?
So you were talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So you were talking about a system for the building, not about for each apartment. Okay. So now if it's through Spectrum, I mean, whatever way you said it comes to your apartment through Spectrum. Okay. So if it's through Spectrum, like my Spectrum remote has a button for Netflix. Okay. But Spectrum has now a lot of other streaming channels. How would you connect?
So no, it's not a direct stream that you can just access on your TV. It's just a channel that we've made available through Spectrum. So the modulator, we're getting in the weeds on this, but
I
yeah.
can talk to you later about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been looking into getting rid of my set-top box because of, among other things, the price being raised $5 a month for TV. And the streaming on that is through my Wi-Fi that is in my apartment. However, I have an old dumb TV, so I need a way to get that there. And I've been looking at different ways. I have an Amazon Fire Stick. I haven't got that to work too well with Spectrum, but there's apparently a Zumo device that can be obtained to smarten up a TV.
we could talk offline about this, but
Yeah.
essentially what Mr. Stevenson is saying and asking, he wants to get rid of his cable box. We charge going into 2026, $55 a month now for cable and $55 for internet, which is still only $110. Most people outside of here they're probably paying $200 for cable and internet. But I understand, pricing goes up and we have to cut costs at certain places. So if you want to get rid of your cable box and you want to make your TV a smart TV, you have a few options. You can get a Zumo box through Spectrum, which still gives you Spectrum television. You will not get channel 1340. You can get Netflix through that. Essentially, that's the same thing as an Amazon Fire Stick, an Apple TV, Google Chromecast. These are all devices that make your TV If you do not have a smart TV, it makes your TV a smart TV. Right.
That would be a great idea.
Jason, do you have anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. Cameron? There's time.
Hope somebody can listen to me after that. Hi, my name is Cameron Reale. I am the Chief Operating Officer, and I'm kind of just going to piggyback on a whole lot of these different things that were just given as updates. I really liked what Michelle said, alluding to the fact that there's a lot of things that are going on at Woodland Pond that are transparent to you, or maybe transparent isn't the right word, but are visible to you. Physically or verbally, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we're really working on too. And that's encompassed across all of our different departments, which is really exciting. So the one that Jason was alluding to is the removal of connected living and shifting to a new system. This is kind of the most urgent one, for a lack of a better word. So I really just want to ask that anybody who is interested in coming on Tuesday makes it a serious priority. This is something that we value your opinion on, and we really can't do it without your input. So please make it a point to do so. The entire point of us moving away from connected living into a different platform is A, to make it more resident friendly, B, to bring everything into one platform, whether that be work orders, whether that be communication with one another on a forum, whether that be emergency alerting and communication. So this can be extremely beneficial, and your input is extremely valuable. Like I said, I said work sub and visual touch, Jason wanted me to say. I also wanted to make a comment on behalf of Phil with Murder Mystery, because he was here on Sunday, and I wanted to let everybody know that this past Friday he did his whole long due diligence of perfecting that matcha cake for anybody who was here. So I think I went back into the kitchen 3 different times, and holy smokes, he loved making that. So just so everybody knows, a matcha cake. It was, oh yes, he was very excited. Special cake. Kind of going department by department. With Phil not here, I wanted to give a reminder to everybody about the nutrition and independent living survey. I've heard that some residents are survey fatigued right now. However, this is something that we're really asking you to take a look at. If you are interested in having any assistance or education around nutrition as it pertains to your everyday life, that can mean a whole slew of different things. Please complete the survey, because we're really looking at the data to see ways that we can implement that in independent living. Talking about Thanksgiving, reservations are 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. 2 o'clock is fully booked, but there are still some seating opportunities in the other times. As Jason mentioned, we will be having valet from the beginning of service and even before and then after, to make sure that your family and friends are accommodated. Let's see, we will be in the new year working with the Welcome Committee to make sure that we have kitchen tours accessible to new residents, existing residents, anybody who would like a kitchen tour. This is also will be the same for the health center. I know a big theme that we've been talking about recently has been the integration between independent living and the health center. So this is something that we will be instituting as a more friendly and accessible opportunity for everybody to kind of get their feet wet with the health center and with the kitchen and anything you're really interested in being a part of with Woodland Pond. I think that's it for dining. Jason covered all of his pieces, of course. From Tom, we have fall cleanup still underway. I know that we received some complaints about the leaf blowers early in the morning, so we have instituted that we will not be authorizing the landscaping crew that we have contractors for. They will not be able to start before 9 a.m. That will be across the board for any construction personnel, where we're asking them to start after a certain time to avoid early morning wake-ups from a jackhammer. So anybody who has specific, I know there's been a couple of you had specific qualms about the leaves in and around your apartment areas. We've put in work orders for our staff to do that specifically. They are, meaning the maintenance crew is underway with the update of the bollard lights around to make sure that everything is updated with the LEDs. So those should be done in the next few weeks. And for maintenance, I just wanted to give kudos, and I'm sure many of you have already noticed down at the flex space, everything for the most part that was done in the flex space was done by our own staff. So we had a few different maintenance people who may not be particularly experts in certain areas, might be painting, might be plumbing, might be carpentry, but everybody really worked well together to come and, you know, bring that new space to life, which was amazing to see. So please just extend your gratitude to the maintenance department, because I know sometimes, you know, they kind of get the left hand of things, and we want to make sure that they know that we're appreciative of everything that they did for the space. I also want to, again, piggyback off of something Jason said with the taxi service at night. We have received a few different residents who have come to us saying that they feel a bit apprehensive about what to do in the middle of the night when they feel like they need to call 911, they need ambulance service, but they don't know how to get back. At the end of the day, whether it has to do with calling EMS, an emergency, whatever it might be, I just want to make sure everybody knows concierge their information, because at the end of the day, when concierge is no longer at the desk, that phone gets directed to reception, where there always is somebody at the desk, whether it's reception staff or whether it's security. So in the middle of the night, you have an emergency, please always call concierge when in doubt with anything. If you're unsure what the process is for a taxi, if you're unsure what the process is for EMS, we can always help. So please, when you leave this meeting, make sure you have concierge's phone number, whether it's in your own cell phone, on a sticky note, on a sticker, make sure you have it. And if you have any questions, you can head to the desk or ask Jason or I, and we can help. A fun one that I am happy to talk about is last Friday actually, when I had the little coffee corner that Lindsay was gracious enough to set up. I had a few residents come and give some feedback and some things that they're looking for. And part of my reasoning of bringing this up is because I want to, right off the bat, offer a hand to allow residents to come to me with any type of suggestions they may have, whether that be informally, formally, I don't mind. I really enjoy working with everybody and hearing what people might want to see, what they might not like to see. And this can be in terms of everyday life at Woodland Pond. This can be in terms of the expansion. This can be just about anything. So I invite everybody to come chat with me, come stop by, or to suggest a modality for us to do this moving forward. Just kind of wanted to put that out there. And a second piece from this coffee corner was somebody mentioned that they are interested in hearing about what we do in terms of leadership, or what we do in terms of our staffing that works on, how do I say this, that lifts us up and shows back to the community and shows back to our residents what we're doing to enhance Woodland Pond. So something that somebody had asked me about was, a few people had heard a rumor that Dave and I were in Boston a few weeks ago, which is true, not a rumor. So Dave and I had the opportunity to go to a conference in Boston, which is an annual conference with an advocacy company called Leading Age that we are members with. At that conference, it is a great opportunity for networking, which a lot of the vendors that you may have seen at the groundbreaking ceremony today were there. In addition to education and in-servicing opportunities with like-minded colleagues or some different personnel that are in the senior living industry. Dave and I had a great time exploring Boston and kind of networking with a lot of those people. We had a jam-packed schedule, but I just wanted to offer this just kind of as an insight to say that we love doing these types of things. We're very grateful that we're able to do these types of things. And at the end of the day, the entire purpose is just to come back and deliver you different forward-thinking things in the industry and things that we can do for Woodland Pond. So just wanted to end on that note. You have a question?
I had somebody ask me today, where is your office?
My office is Terrell's old office in the
That doesn't
admin
help.
suite.
Where's that?
So it's in the admin suite. Right when you walk into the admin suite behind concierge, it's the first office on the right next to Jason's. Terrell's down in the server room.
He's with Cameron in the IT room.
Yeah.
Hi, Cameron. Are you Tom Tango today?
Yes.
Okay.
I look just like him.
Oh, no comment. Every fall in the past, Tom has had the contractor clean down the back of the slope behind the cottages. And it hasn't been done this year. Do you know if it will be?
It should be. I do know that they were doing fall cleanup in a series of different days, so I would assume that's why, but I'll follow up to make sure.
I'm coming, Jean.
I just want to compliment you. Yesterday, and it was late in the afternoon, I showed you a picture of all the leaves that were outside my porch door. And when I came back from the groundbreaking, they were gone.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
We'll take it.
And also your collaboration with the library. This afternoon, we're going to look through Dave Barry's extensive collection. And you are really facilitating that for us. So thank you.
Thank you. I hope it goes well. Right behind.
Hi, Cameron. You suggested coming or offered to have us give you suggestions, but there's a suggestion box that that Michelle often reads during her weekly presentation. So how are those reconciled, those suggestions?
Yeah, different ways. When I had a few residents hang out with me last Friday, some of them had offered the idea that they prefer in-person suggestions instead. So it's just another opportunity. But on those suggestions or the rumor mill, Michelle and I work closely together on that. So
you do
either
work
way.
together. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I was.
Yeah. Thanks, Jean.
I might have missed something. I'm not sure in the last 2 months or so, but Michelle, where do you stop and Cameron begin? Or Cameron, where do you stop and who's covering third base versus first base?
So it's kind of a work in process. Technically, Rob, Tom, Phil, Jason, and Terrell all now directly report to Cameron. So those are the operations departments. So they all reported to me and now they all report to Cameron. So day-to-day management of those departments is now falling under Cameron. I have retained the health center, which is Philip's staff, marketing, Sarah's department, finance, and HR, and Dave. So what has evolved, obviously, we have a lot of irons in the fire, and I've talked about this a bit. There is an enormous amount of strategic planning, risk evaluation, bigger picture thinking that the board really wants to see having happen. We're moving out of a phase of just maintaining where we are, needing to elevate. And that's something that they want to see happening at the CEO level. So in order for me to be able to commit time to that in a serious way, and the fact that it's rather unhealthy to have 14 direct reports as the CEO and be responsible solely for that, the board really felt like it was time for us to bite the bullet and have a chief operating officer position put in. We have been the only CCRC in the state that hasn't had one. And I've worn a lot of hats, but the board has also gotten quite concerned about the fact that all of their eggs have been in one basket. And that is not healthy for the organization. So this is a healthy thing for us to do. I am sort of trying to, as freely as I possibly can, let Cameron handle those things. She's more than capable, but we are collaborating on a lot of things, and a lot of these things cross over. So things that might be a maintenance type issue, but really drive to marketing, because we need apartment turnovers. None of it is siloed. And Cameron and I have worked well together in multiple different roles over the last 5 years. So even if it's not purely within one of those areas, we pick each other's brains. That's kind of how our entire team works. There really isn't anybody that just only deals with one person. We all see each other as an ally and as a resource. So some of it's a little bit more fluid, but from an org chart purely perspective, Cameron's in charge of all of the operations departments and I'm not. And she reports to me. All right, I think we're going to wrap up for today. It's been a long one. Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the most important part. Okay. So this year, there were 279 hourly employees who worked just over 300,000 hours. So based on the amount that was collected by Rove, that equated to about 88 cents per hour for those hours worked. So the largest check was $2,373.78. There were 141 checks over $1,000, and there were 5 checks over $2,000. So just to give you an idea here, because we are a 37.5-hour work week, the full-time employees typically work, or a full-time employee's average number of hours per year would be 1,950 hours. Keeping in mind that this gift is only equated on hours that are worked, not paid time off. So no sick time, no vacation time, no holiday time. And, that comes into a 1,950 hour employee's typical work week. So it just shows how above and beyond many of our staff go with working overtime and working extended hours beyond their scheduled, FTE, right? Full-time equivalency. So I think it's great. It was really, really excellent. And again, thank you to the Rove Committee and to the chair people who work so hard to gather those tips, gratuities throughout the year.
Thing to that comment, because I want to make sure it's clear to everybody. Bridget is indicating we've got a lot of people that work more than a standard full-time job. That's completely voluntary. Yeah. So what happens is when, let's say, one dietary staff goes on vacation, it means their shift is available. We open that up to all the other dietary staff to pick the shift up, and then they're welcome to pick that up for overtime. At Woodland Pond, about a year and a half or 2 years ago, we did something that is very unusual in the marketplace.
Unprecedented.
And we increased our overtime rate to double time. So the standard in sort of the, not just healthcare, but the standard is usually you hear time and a half. So oftentimes, residents are like, oh, well, we don't need to add a COO. We need to put more into the staff. We do that too.
Right.
So by increasing the overtime rate to double time, that makes us an industry leader. And this is not the kind of thing that we're going back to the residents and saying, midway through the year, we need to then again increase your monthly service fee to make this change. These are things that we plan for and gives directly back to the staff. So that helps us with recruitment and retention. And it really makes a big difference for them. So every hour that they work over 40 in a week and 80 in a pay period is at straight double time. So we do try to be an industry leader in these things, but they like to see that money going into their paycheck. So if they don't have other family commitments and they have the availability, they want to pick that time up, because here they're going to get paid double time, whereas, the place down the street, they're going to probably get time and a half. So, Ira?
What percentage of the independent living people do not donate to the Rove? And how does this compare to last year?
So because this is a resident committee that manages and takes all of the donations, I don't actually have that information because management is very hands-off with the entire process. What I provide is this exact breakdown once I know the account balance that I'm working with for the year. Then I run the reporting for the number of hours that the staff worked and help to prepare the distribution lists. So to your question, I would have to send that back to the Rove Committee. And I believe that the meetings are open meetings, right? That anyone is welcome to attend. And I know that they're always, Bob's got his hand up because I know that I'm sure.
Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on. No, they can't on TV.
Not on TV.
This year, we had about 88% of the residents contribute. So about 12% of the residents did not contribute, and that was pretty much in line with last year. Last year was also 88%.
Right.
We did bring in a little less this year in dollars, about $5,000 less in dollars, and the figures that you just quoted reflected that.
Yes.
269,000, yeah, roughly, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
We'll see you guys all next month. Happy Thanksgiving.